In the headlines, President Tinubu swears in 8 new permanent secretaries. Conflicting court orders, CJN vows to deal with errant judges. Women Affairs Minister denies 1.5 billion naira claims in heated interrogation. Governor Abdulrazak hails Tinubu's reform as federal government launches anti-cattle rustling initiative in Kwara. On the foreign scene, 8 missing after boat sink in On the foreign scene, 8 missing after boat sinks in Myanmar's commercial hub. In the world of business, Nigeria's crude oil output rises to 1.28 million barrels per day in June. In entertainment news, Ira Star Thames emerges most streamed Nigerian artist in 2024 first half. And in the world of sports, Super Falcons camp comes alive as Joshua arrives Sevilla. Good evening and many thanks for joining us for news across the world on Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry. I am Omonike. Babatunde. You can listen to us via our website at www.diamondfm.net or watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM. You can also download our app on Play Store, Diamond 887 FM. We'll bring you details of the news after this break. Don't go away, please.
Drug abuse affects both brain and behavior. It has multifaceted impacts on one's body, mind, and nervous system. However, you can avoid being addicted by giving zero tolerance to the use of drugs. Associate yourself with the right persons. Do not give in to peer pressure and learn to handle life's pressure rather than resorting to hard substances. Remember, Diamond 88.7 FM cares for your sound spirit and good health.
This message is from Diamond 88.7 FM.
You're welcome back from that short break. Now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sworn in 8 newly appointed permanent secretaries for the Federal Civil Service. He performed the ceremony as a precursor to the regular meeting of the Federal Executive Council (FEC) inside the Aso chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. They were appointed in order to fill existing and impending vacancies in some state and geopolitical zones in the top administrative cadre of the Civil Service of the Federation. Report gathered says the appointees emerge after stages of the selection process by the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, including a written ICT test. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Olukayode Hariwola, has decried what he termed as unpalatable cocktail of misleading and conflicting judgment emanating from Court of Coordinated Jurisdictions in the country. He said the National Judicial Council (NJC) has already activated the process that would ensure that errant judges are made to face the consequence of their despicable and odious conduct. Speaking shortly after he inaugurated 22 judges into the Court of Appeal bench today, the CJN lamented that the avalanche of frivolous interlocutory orders emanating from the various courts have continued to make a mockery of the judicial system. He also described as unprecedented the number of justices that were elevated to the bench of the appellate court, noting that the last time such large number of judicial officers were inaugurated was on the 28th of June, when the court got 18 justices at the same time. The House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development has interrogated the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy-Ohaneye, over the non-payment of 1.5 billion naira to contractors despite the release of funds. The committee is investigating the alleged diversion of funds meant for contractor payment following a petition by contractors. The committee, chaired by Kafilat Ogbara, questioned the minister about some expenditures, including 45 million naira for a New Year party, 20 million naira for sanitary pads, and 1.5 million naira for vehicle fuel, and the whereabouts of 1.5 billion naira meant for contractors' payment. Mrs. Kennedy Omonike, while responding to questions raised by the committee members, denied allegation of misappropriation, overspending, and non-payment to contractors.
2020, I was not there. I was attacked. Like 2020. No, you said that I said 2020. I was not there, and you said you took an excuse. I'm just trying to put some things straight. The procurement officer has made it clear that by procurement law, before they even award the contract, they will ensure that there is fund to fund that job. So apparently the money was there. So why were they not paid? Please, I just want the answer straight. Don't waste time. Doesn't want to calm down. She doesn't want us to go to the root of this matter. She's challenging the committee. She's, being rude to even honorable members. And this is very insulting.
Following a series of arguments between the minister and the Committee on Women's Affairs and Social Development, the interactive session was forcibly adjourned till further notice. Kwara State Governor and Chairman Nigerian Governors Forum NGF Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for taking various bold steps to develop livestock and end perennial herders-farmers clashes across communities. The governor specifically mentioned today, while speaking in Ilorin at the launch of the National Animal Identification Traceability System for the state, and stressed that the recent move to establish a Ministry for Livestock Development is a historic effort to transform Nigeria's agricultural landscape. The governor thanked the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, and his team for the hard work to transform the agric sector for economic diversification, adding that serves as a model for his government in the state. According to a statement by the press secretary to the Kwara State Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Temple Oladipo, among other dignitaries in attendance were government officials, both from the federal and state, including Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, Oloruntoyosi Thomas, Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Rafiu Ajakai. The police command in Cross River has presented checks of 43 million naira to the families of 17 deceased officers who died while on duty in the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Grima, presented the checks to the families of the deceased in Calabar today. Grima said that the presentation was in line with the welfare program of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. He said that the welfare program of the police boss covers the serving, retired, and deceased personnel of the force, urging the beneficiaries to make the best use of the financial support and desist from creating division in the family because of the money. Still with the police, operatives of the Nigerian Police Force and PF attached to Edo Police Division of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Command have arrested one Nuhu Ezra with human part in his possession. The suspect was arrested on the 9th of this month at about 9 p.m. while the operatives were acting on credible intelligence. He was arrested in Goza Kipi village, Lube, Abuja, with a human skull and bones of other body part. FCT police spokesperson SP Josephine Ade, while confirming the arrest, said the suspect upon interrogation stated that he picked them up from the bush while hunting at Kuje and had the intention to sell the body part for 600,000 naira. Meanwhile, CP Bennett Igwe has ordered that a thorough investigation be conducted to ascertain the bearer of the body part, the intended buyer, if the suspect killed anyone to be in possession of the body part, and how long the suspect had been in the alleged business. Gunmen have again stormed a community in Agatu local government area of Benue State and reportedly killing no fewer than 10 people. The killers were reported to have struck the Olegumachi community in Agatu and burned down houses. The attack, which happened last night, came barely 4 days after 3 people, including an aged couple, were killed in the Ipele community in the same local government. According to a local who did not want to be mentioned, said that gunmen invaded Oleguchimachi yesterday evening, killed several people, and set many houses on fire. The chairman of the local government, Philip Ebenyako, verifying the incident to journalists today, disclosed that 10 people were killed and 7 houses set on fire. The news across the world is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM. Ilari will go on a break now, and when we return, we'll bring you foreign, business, entertainment, and sport news. Don't go away, please.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 87 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
You're welcome back from that short break. You're still listening to news across the world, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilori. Now we continue with the rest of the stories. On the foreign scene, the Rwanda government has hinted that it won't reimburse more than $300 million received from the United Kingdom since UK 2022 for a deal to deport asylum seekers deemed to have arrived illegally in the UK. The spokesperson of the government says the migrant deal with the UK did not include any clause regarding reimbursement after the newly elected British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that he would scrap the controversial agreement. According to a fact sheet published by the British government in April this year, the UK has given Rwanda around $307 million so far as part of the deal. Recall that Starmer, in a recent address to press, said he was not prepared to continue with the controversial deal to send asylum seekers to Rwanda, calling the scheme a gimmick and denying that the bill acted as a deterrent. Meanwhile, the controversial plan was first announced in April 2022 by the Conservative government at the time under the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, but faced a series of political and legal challenges. Still on the foreign scene, 8 people were missing after a boat sank on a river in Myanmar's commercial hub, Yangon. According to a social media post made today on the country's local fire department, the boat sank after an accident at around 8:10 a.m. local time in the Yangon River. The fire department added that 9 out of 17 people reportedly on board had been rescued as search and rescue operations were underway for the remaining 8 people. Meanwhile, local media reported that the boat had collided with another vessel, and details on what had occurred or whether any other vessels were involved was yet to be ascertained. That's it from the foreign scene. Up next is our business news.
Diamond FM Business News.
In our business update today, Nigerians' average daily crude oil production rose marginally to 1.28 million barrels per day in June. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, made the disclosure, marking a rise of just 25,000 barrels per day from the 1.251 million barrels per day recorded in May. Meanwhile, the secondary sources placed on Nigerians' daily average crude oil production in June at 1.362 million barrels per day, a decrease of 10,000 barrels compared to May's figure of 1.372 million BPD. Despite the decline in production, according to secondary sources, Nigeria maintains its status as Africa's largest oil producer, followed closely by Libya, which produced 1.2 million BPD in June. That ends our business update, and we'll go on a very short break. After that, we'll continue with the entertainment news. Don't go away, please.
Amatem soft gel wà fún ìtọ́jú àrùn ibà tí ara rẹ kò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà rẹ.
Diamond FM Entertainment News.
You're welcome back from that short break, and now to our entertainment news. A global music streaming platform known as Spotify has announced Nigerian's music celebrities Onyeka Sola Aderibigbe, popularly known as Aerostar, and her counterpart Tems as the most streamed Nigerian artist globally. Spotify's head of music Sub-Sahara Africa, Fiona Okumu, made this known in Lagos today, adding the top 30 artists who had gained the biggest global numbers were revealed in Spotify's Music Global Impact list for 2024. According to her, Raul Alexandro and Aristar's Santa were at the top of the list. Aristar's Coma emerged second, while Tems' Love Me Jeje came third, and interestingly, Tyler and Tems' number one came sixth. Okumu noted that female artists, particularly Aristar and Tems, are leading the industry with top-ranking hits following their recent album releases. That ends our entertainment news. Up next is our sport news.
Diamond FM Sports News.
From the exciting world of sport today, reigning African Women's Footballer of the Year, Asisat Oshoala, has arrived at the Super Falcons camp in Sevilla, Spain. The Super Falcons set up camp at the Jerez de la Frontera last weekend to prepare for the 2024 Olympic Games. Oshoala's arrival increased the number of players in camp at 215, as 7 more players have been expected in camp. Meanwhile, Ifeoma Onumonu was named as a replacement for the injured Alimat Aide on Tuesday. Midfielder Regina Otu will now take Onumunu's place in the alternate player slot. The Super Falcons will take on Canada in a friendly next week Wednesday before departing for Paris a day later. Still from the exciting world of sport, and now to Scrabble. No fewer than 12 youngsters have been selected to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming World Youth Scrabble Championship in Sri Lanka. The championship is built to take place from the 6th to 8th of September in Sri Lanka. The Nigerian Scrabble Federation, NSF, in a press release highlighted the list of players, which consists of 8 boys and 4 girls, including Abdulkudus Aliu, who led Kwara State to sweep the top honors at the games and winner of the African Youth Scrabble Championship under 15 Prestige Akibong. The team's coach, Samuel Eremosele, expressed confidence that his players have the capacity to finish at top of the medal table in Sri Lanka in September. That ends our sport update. With that, we've come to the end of news across the world on Diamond 88.7 FM. But before we go, here's a recap of the major stories as brought to you. President Tinubu swears in 8 new permanent secretaries. Conflicting court orders. CJN vows to deal with errant Georges. Women Affairs Minister denies 1.5 billion naira claims in heated interrogation. Governor Abdulrazak hails Tinubu's reform as federal government launches anti-cattle rustling initiative in Kwara. And on the foreign scene, 8 missing after boat sunk in Mayman's commercial hub. In the world of business, Nigeria's crude oil output rises to 1.28 million barrels per day in June. And from the exciting world of sports, Super Falcons camp comes alive as Oshoala arrives Sevilla. For today in history, did you know that on this day in 1971, Nigeria became the 11th member of Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC? Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact Diamond FM newsroom number on 091 6062 7526. One more time, 091 6062 7526. The news across the world was compiled and edited by Joseph Iberibe, and I am Omonike Babatunde. Thank you for listening to your shining supreme station, and please stand by for the news in Yoruba language. Good evening.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Diamond FM.
Listen to the music, relax, and have fun. All the hits.
Beautiful, beautiful love.